Jumbo, fellow adventurers, it's time for a spiritual tune-up where I, Mike Dooley, answer your questions about life, dreams, and happiness, or anything under the sun. Today's Q&A is kind of fun for me. It's a topic I love thinking about, and that is cryptocurrencies. The question is Bitcoin. What's going on? Now, is this spiritually related? Is there anything not spiritual? Is there anything that's not of God, by God, pure God? Is there anything that isn't a thought first that's transformed by your divine supernatural powers into this luscious playground we live? It's all spiritual. And yes, having a currency to exchange stuff is as spiritual as prayer. Truly mean that. And why not ask questions about these things? It's fun to dabble. I answer questions about UFOs, about karma, it's all relevant. So let's go there. It's a cool topic. I've got to tell you, I am a big believer in cryptocurrencies. I think it's a phenomenal idea. Does that mean they're going to work? No, not at all. Not necessarily. Does that mean what I have to share is correct? It's just my opinion. I am not a financial advisor. I am not recommending anybody do anything. I'm going to share some of my thought processes on cryptocurrency, particular Bitcoin, but what I'm about to share pertains to pretty much most of the cryptocurrencies as I understand them. And then with your own research, you can decide whether or not this is a direction you might want to dabble in or not. Again, no warranties, okay? I'm not in that place. I am an entrepreneur. I'm a certified public accountant or a recovering one. I do have some background and some knowledge about this stuff. What a wild ride those markets have had. Right now, Bitcoin is around $46,000 per coin, and it was invented out of thin air. Which leads to the first question. Are these intangible assets a good investment? That is the wrong question. That is the question that sends old schoolers up a tree because they will vow to their dying breath that they are a terrible investment. They're not an investment at all. And if you try to measure the merit or the worthiness of cryptocurrencies on a scale that compares them to other investments, cryptocurrencies are the worst thing you could ever do. They're currencies. They're not investments. But in this wild heyday of their virtual introduction to mainstream society, they're in their infancy right now. Even though Bitcoin's been around maybe, 8 or 9 years, it's in its absolute infancy. So they're extremely volatile. But after they achieve some degree of maturity, I think you will find that as a currency, they will fluctuate far, far, far less. They are not an investment. They don't hold value in a typical investment style. They don't pay dividends, and there's nothing beneath them. So if you're looking at them and trying to understand a cryptocurrency in terms of an investment, you will always find that they suck. But as a currency, oh my gosh, they are amazing. Here is why they are an amazing currency. They're operated by blockchain on the internet. Buzzwords that you can look up if you're not familiar with them. They're checked through a system of transparency, not transparent as to who owns them, which is kind of an issue. Criminals might be able to use them the same way they use cash. But otherwise, each transaction is viewable on the blockchain, and 10,000 or tens of thousands of independent computers around the world run these blockchains, keeping them secure. And what has been the case so far, and I think will always be the case, but just my opinion, is that they are unbreakable. You've got to realize that the bounty involved in breaking the blockchain for Bitcoin is nearly $1 trillion. If the greatest minds in sabotage, in fraud, in those illicit countries where they've got people just trying to break in and steal stuff on the internet from banks and exchanges, etc. If those minds, motivated by $1 trillion, cannot break Bitcoin now, they're never going to break Bitcoin, in my opinion. And this is likely true of the other cryptocurrencies. They are the safest haven on planet Earth when it comes to theft. Okay? Now, the exchanges you buy your cryptocurrency on are not nearly as safe, but they know that that's all they have, so they put everything into their security. And so the top ones, the ones of renown, the ones with a track record in the infancy of cryptocurrencies, are likely to be a safe bet. So the cryptocurrency itself is uncrackable. The exchanges through which most people buy them are the weak link in the chain. Be sure you buy them from an established, do your research, credentialed exchange. The other thing that's tricky about these exchanges and buying them is that it's kind of complicated. It's not as easy as opening a bank account, where there's ways that if there's fraudulent movement of funds, the bank can undo that within 24 hours. That can't be done by an exchange with cryptocurrencies. So there are some inherent risks at this early stage in dealing with cryptocurrency that make it, maybe a good reason not to go there at all. If you don't have somebody nor yourself to competently go there and evaluate exchanges and make an investment, then it's probably not a good idea yet. Another thing people don't know about cryptocurrencies is that you can buy any denomination. While Bitcoin right now is around $46,000 per coin, there are Satoshis, and there's like 100 million Satoshis inside of one Bitcoin. So you can buy $1 worth, $10 worth of Bitcoin right now. On an exchange or in your own personal electronic wallet. Again, a little bit complicated, but anybody can dabble if they wanted to dabble. The other great thing, besides blockchain being virtually so far unbreakable, which is phenomenal for a currency, is that these blockchains are independent. They're called trustless. You don't have to trust a government. You don't have to trust a bank. You don't have to trust anybody. And best of all, since they're not issued by a government who typically is not totally transparent and who can manipulate the supply of other currencies like fiat money, no one is going to be manipulating, as they can with virtually all other currencies that are all backed by governments. Nobody's going to be manipulating the supply of cryptocurrency. Most cryptocurrencies, at least Bitcoin, are finite. There will never be more than 21 million, I believe it's 21 million Bitcoins in circulation from now to eternity. That's coded into the blockchain. This is really, really cool. Nobody's going to print more to pay government bills and do the things. Now, there's a place for government manipulation of currencies and stimulation of economies, and cryptocurrencies don't have to be either or with government currencies. There'll probably always be some kind of overlap. I really don't know. But cryptocurrencies cannot be manipulated by governments. So they're unbreakable, they're finite, and they can't be manipulated. As a currency, this is amazing. But people don't look at it as a currency. They're like, is it a good investment? Oh, it goes up and it goes down, and it crashes and it soars. And so they're scared of it. But when you look at it as a currency, it has, for these reasons I've just given, plus for people who don't have bank accounts in much of the world, which is most people on planet Earth, a cryptocurrency operated on their phone, if they even have a phone, is going to be a far easier way to move funds around internationally in 2 seconds than it is to move currencies around or write a check or find an ATM kind of thing. So as a currency, cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin included, are phenomenal. All right, so there's a couple other things here. There's a concept of bad money chasing out good money. Okay, if you have some really good, if you have some gold coins, I mean, those are really valuable, right? A gold, you're not going to go use your gold coins to buy groceries and stuff. You're going to put your gold coins in a safe deposit box, and you're going to use your paper money for all else. That's what's happening now at this early stage of cryptocurrency's use in the world. People are buying their cryptocurrency, and some are speculating. Many are holding on to them, and that thought was bad money chases out good money. So people are holding on to their cryptocurrency, but they're still using dollars. So this is adding to the fact of the extreme volatility. Let's see. Now, another observation of mine is that I used to think there'd probably be one king of cryptocurrencies and the others would all go to zero. Because they have blockchain, and because now embedded in the blockchain there are these contracts, which is typical now, characteristic of Ethereum and ADA and some of the others. These currencies are valuable on a number of different fronts. So there's going to probably always be dozens, if not hundreds, of valuable cryptocurrencies. Although one may clearly be the leader, as today it is Bitcoin, I don't think all the others are going to go to zero. Anyway, it's an exciting frontier to witness and see its development. Everything I say and have said could be totally wrong. Governments could come along and outlaw it or shut down exchanges to perhaps save the value of their fiat paper money, which would be a devastating blow to cryptocurrencies. It's impossible to know where this is going. But I've been asked several times now, what's my take on cryptocurrencies? I think as a currency, for the reasons listed, it is a phenomenal, exciting idea that can achieve a lot of things that traditional money cannot achieve. And because this is the wild, wild west, it's a good idea, if you're going to go in that direction, to go gently, to play with it, to dabble with it, and be a pioneer. Okay, so bring me your questions, whatever they are under the sun. I'll probably have an opinion. Thanks for posting your questions. Do so right now under this video in Facebook and or Instagram. And while you're out there looking for truth that's going to set you free, check out my podcast. All of these spiritual tune-ups are combined on a weekly basis and released as a podcast on Apple, Google, and the other major platforms. So if that's more suitable for you to follow along, 45 minutes at a time, and then I would love to see you there. All right. Thanks for sharing these. Thanks for your thumbs up, the stars, the appreciation. Thank you so much for telling your friends, and I look forward to answering your questions again tomorrow. Tally ho, amigos. Hasta pronto. Te amo.